Today I'm going to give my speech on the demonstration. So how many of you are ready to get the job of your life? I know I am, and you should be too. To get your job, I'm going to teach you how to tie a tie today. Um, you know, so I'm going to get started. First, you got to make sure you take off your jacket. I have a lot of experience. I always know how to dress professionally, and everyone always compliments me on how professional I look and how I'm readily able to, knock down that audience and get the job. So, yeah, just a little cold, sorry. But, yeah, so let's get to it. So you're going to need a tie to tie your speech, and you should have a nice shirt like me. A collared shirt's better, but if you don't have one, whatever. You just work with what you have. Normally, you like to have a belt so you know where the tie ends, but it's okay. Just use your imagination. And yeah, so let's get to tying a tie. Okay, everyone. So this is a tie, and we're gonna tie it. So I know the collared shirt is better, so let me get a collared shirt here. Okay. Remember, it's important that you dress the part for the speech. As you can see, I've done a really fine job here. You have to tie that tie. Okay, you have to tie that tie. And I'll say it again. You have to tie that tie. You have to tie that tie. Okay, great. So I have my shirt now. That's good. And the let's get to it. So the first thing I want to say is, for all of you out there, you might have to be needing to wear a tie for a job interview. Even if your job is to be, the Chuck E. Cheese clown person, it's important that you look professional for the job interview at least, because it shows that you're, ready to be taken seriously and all. Okay. And of course, you take pictures at prom or graduation, all those places. A lot of times it's important to have a tie. You want your tie to coordinate well with your shirt. So as you can see, mine coordinates really well. It's easy for you to see the tie in the shirt background here. Okay. So first thing you want to do is, put it over your neck like this. And then you want to, just go like that. And then go like this. Sorry, I messed up. Okay, you go like this. You go like that. Do this. All right, and yeah, there you go. And that 5 simple steps that I just showed you, like this, like that. You go over here and over there. All right, great. That's your tie. Of course, you want to fix up the collar, and yeah, straighten it out in the middle over here. So there you go. Now you know how to tie a tie, and you look really professional. This is great. All right, that's exactly what we're going for here. So remember, it's important to tie a tie. Oh, I forgot my rhyme. So I'm the tie guy, and it's time to say goodbye. My alliteration. Ties are not tacky. They are transformative. And my pause is, now you can get that job. Okay. To recap, there's 5 simple steps on how to tie a tie. And yeah, that's about it. Okay. All right, class. Gonna teach you a little lesson now on some steps on what to do. So, number one, as you can probably see, this is not the best background, and I wanted you to be aware of that. Also, you should definitely choose a better shirt to match with the tie. You know, this is what I mean by you got to look professional. If you're doing a professional presentation, of course, every background has a purpose if you're going for a specific occasion, but specifically for how to tie a tie for a professional job interview, this isn't the way to go. And I deliberately try to do everything wrong in that sense. Okay. And this is just another example of it's not just how you say, it's not just what you say and how you say it, it's also where you say it and how you are looking saying it. Okay. Every aspect gets into play here. My face is, you know, still half shaven on purpose because I'm trying to demonstrate a half attitude. And I'm excited that I'm going to, you know, shave this tomorrow. SpongeBob. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of the lesson here. SpongeBob. All right. Well, a couple of, you know, points for you. Number one, why the demonstration? I see that the light might be bugging out a bit here, so let me see if that makes any difference. No. Yeah, that might do a little bit better here. Okay, so, you know, why the demonstration SpongeBob? Well, number one, it's demonstration is how you're able to prove something, right? A lot of people can claim that they can do something, you know, like I can fly. Well, you would want to be able to prove it. And you want to be able to prove it live because, you know, there's a lot of video editing there that people can do. And that's an important point why you have to do the demonstration speech. There are a lot of liars out there who might say that they will do something, but if they can't do something, then that's just a bad something, right? You know, you heard that talk is cheap. Can you talk the talk, but you know, not walk the walk? So you have to be able to really prove it. And you don't want any posers, you know, people who pretend they're good and lie that they're good, but in the end, they're actually not. So yeah, that's why the demonstration is, you know, really important. So in a demonstration, you have one shot to do this, right? I'm going to, you know, prove to you that I can throw this marker in the air and catch it with my other hand with my clawed fingers. Oh, well, maybe I'm a liar now, or maybe I'm a poser, or maybe talk is just cheap, right? Or you might say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to try again. Oh, can't do it. Well, that's a problem, right? Because when you can't put your actions where your mouth is with your words, you're losing your credibility and people aren't going to fully believe you. So what you have to make sure you do is the following. Again, the demonstration speech is all about the following. Please write down these P's. Right? It's for people who can prove under pressure that they can perform, are the ones who get paid. People who can perform under pressure are those who can get paid. So let's take an example. Well, look at public speaking, for instance, right? Everyone can say they can speak. Well, why do I have to take a speech class? You know, I'm perfectly fine when I'm talking to my friends and family. But, you know, suddenly then sometimes people have to present in class and they freeze up and they can't do it anymore. Well, that's an example of how people have to perform under pressure, right? And what's the point of me or anyone being quote unquote good at speaking if you can't do it well under pressure? Oh my God, my students are going to make fun of me. They're going to think that I'm really awkward and weird. They're going to just tell the whole world that I'm just this really, really terrible person and what a laughingstock I am because I'm just the epitome of bad speaking, and somehow I became, the Michael Scott boss, of speech. Well, then how are you gonna get paid? I mean, you have to be able to perform under pressure to get paid. And an example of that could simply just be a athlete. Okay, the difference between the athletes who get paid and the athletes who get paid less and sit on the bench is because they're proven that they can rise to the occasion, and when it's most important, that they can do well. And it's the same concept here, in terms of any profession that you're looking for. We had the exercise where you did the brain surgeon talk, right? Out of 1,000 brain surgeon students out there who can do the simulations, how many of you think that all 1,000 of them are going to make it through and actually become a brain surgeon? Not all 1,000 of them, right? Because there are those who can do the simulations, but there are those who can't actually perform under pressure in front of people when the pressure's on, right? They can't prove it to themselves. That's why it's really important that you definitely know that you can do this in front of people. That's what this is all about. In many ways, this course is you're going to always have higher stakes as you get older for your speech. I mean, right now you might be debating for a ribbon. The next day you're debating for a trophy. The next thing you're debating for your freedom in court, or you're debating for your rights as humanity. You never know. It just gets bigger and bigger. Today you're debating over $10 between your friend. The next day you're debating over $10 million for the corporate company. And in between that, you're debating about $10,000 of a raise. And beyond that, you're, arguing $100,000 for, a decrease in a house value. All this just keeps on, getting better, bigger, whatever. So I want you to focus on a few concepts. The first one here is your expertise, your experience, and I'm purposely not looking at you right now because you can see that you always want to make sure you don't turn your back on the audience. Your education. It's important that the audience can see what you're doing. Visuals are really important. And there you go. Enthusiasm. Okay, so I'm purposely blocking the board right now so you can't see it, to see how it's really important that you're aware of your own body and your own background so that you can see a certain way. Okay, so now that I tell you that, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, as you can see, is really important. And I know you all can't be as excited as me, but enthusiasm is what gets you education. You most likely had enthusiasm for your major. That's why you decided to major in it. You are willing to do an unpaid internship because you want to gain experience at it. And one day you would like to be some sort of expert at your field, so then people will be willing to pay you the big bucks for what it is you do. But at that point, you have to make sure that you can perform under pressure in front of people, and you have to be able to prove that you can do it. Okay? So it's now time to SpongeBob think about a demonstration speech topic to do. And here I want you to focus on two parts here. The first part is I'd like you to make a list of all the things you already know how to do already. And it could be really simple. Some of the best speeches that I've seen are how to brush your teeth or how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They had a lot of charisma, you know, that definitely, just radiated from the screen. Maybe you already have some sort of special skill as well. You know how to tie a tie. Maybe you know how to tie a tie blindfolded. Maybe you can tie a tie with two fingers. Maybe you know how to do a cartwheel, whatever the case might be. The good part about this, now that we're all in quarantine, is unlike being in a classroom only where the space is limited, you can literally film your video anywhere you want to do the demonstration speech. It's just a matter of making sure that we can see you and we can hear you. That's what's most important. Okay. So if you wanted to show us how you're able to do that Olympic jump where you have that pole and then you jump over something that's like 10 feet tall, by all means, go for it. That's not something we could have done in class, but now you can show us that. If you want to show us how to ice skate, hey, by all means, go there. Because we couldn't bring ice skating to class, but now we can do that. So use your imagination, on SpongeBob on how to do that. Okay. The other part I wanted to tell you about is the things you was that? And I read it so clearly. Yeah, the things you want to know. Yeah, now on YouTube you can make a video. I'm sorry, you can. I'm so tired. You can. My stomach is hungry and sorry, just making excuses. But they're valid reasons. So, what you want to know. Hold on, let me take a look at my notes here. Got it. All right, so it's important for you to also pick topics that you want to know because your futures are really bright and you can always learn something else that will take you to the light and there's no need to have any fright with it. So as an example, I never knew how to, brush my teeth when I was 5, but I didn't stop myself for the demonstration speeches only being the no section. I thought about, what is something I don't want to know and I want to learn, and that was, for example, brushing my teeth. So be inspired. I'm always trying to inspire you the most as possible. You know that. So SpongeBob, just think about what you don't know yet, and you have YouTube to go about and learn it. Okay. Awesome. I would ask that you pick a backup topic for your speech. If everyone's doing the same speech, it's not fun. And if 2 people do the same speech, it's still okay. But once you hit too many of the same speeches, it becomes not fun. You can literally do any speech you want to do for the demonstration topic. You just have to make sure that it follows a couple of, results for it. So I want to tell you about some of those guidelines. Number 1, the timing of your speech you want to aim for is you want to aim for 5 minutes. Okay, you want to aim for 5 minutes. Notice I just wrote 150. I did that on purpose to show you that's important to visually enforce what it is you're doing. Okay, so just to make it clear, it is 5 minutes. That's the aim. Now, it can go longer depending on the topic, but definitely aim for no less than 4.5 minutes. Okay. So that's one thing. So if you're thinking about something that takes too long, that's not good. Number 2, don't pick any topics that require you to screen share and stuff. We want you to be in the picture. It's not one of those tutorials where you're just seeing something on screen. So you got to make sure that it's you. All right. Second thing, third thing, fourth thing, whatever thing, is you want to make sure it's not too complicated because it's only a 5-minute speech. So SpongeBob, let's say you were let's say you were talking about how to play chess. And knowing all the chess pieces might take a lot of explanation. So don't talk about that. Maybe you just want to talk about tic-tac-toe, for instance, because that's a much simpler concept. Okay. I now have a much better idea of your classmates and what they may or may not be interested in. So that kind of helps just overall as a speaker, like what is the audience interested in, for example. So why did I choose to tie a tie? A lot of you seem quite driven for your futures, and you oftentimes talk about how you have to speak for an interview or whatnot. So I thought it was really important that I am a prime example of showing you how to dress for an interview. Case in point. Now, yeah, other things to consider is, I suppose, your own safety, and just making sure that all you're doing is okay and you're able to do it, you're comfortable, so on and so forth. But anyway, have a backup topic because SpongeBob, have a backup topic because someone else might take your topic, or you may not be inspired of doing your topic all the time. Okay. Also, what if I ran out of this tie? What am I going to do? What if I jam my fingers? How can I tie the tie? You always want to think about a backup just in case you need one. Okay. Other talks on demonstration speeches. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to mention this as well. These are considered the no-no section. LT, LT, OH, OT is like this, like that, over here, over there, and also LS, like so. Those words are non-descriptive words. If I were to show you how to block a karate punch and I say, you take your arm and you go like this, and then you go like that, and then you go like so, that doesn't help you. You want to show visually what it is you'll be doing by verbally reinforcing it. Okay, so you're going to take your right arm and you're going to fling it out, but that doesn't even make sense. How far you're going to fling it, how fast you're going to fling it, it's really difficult. And that's the difficulty of the demonstration speech, right? To be able to be as precise as possible in which it still makes sense. And you'll have some exercises like that. I want you to imagine that, I have alien twin babies, and I want them to look like this celebrity alien baby. And so here's one alien, and I tell the alien plastic surgeon, hey, I want you to make my alien baby look exactly like that alien celebrity. Sure, you can draw this, but as you can see, the sizes don't mesh up. The angles are not the same. And that's ultimately what separates, those who can perform under pressure from those who can't. You get nervous, too much of a cut, too much of this and that. You have to be really precise. So we'll have some exercises on how to do that. Other no-nos. I've done my best to show you a bunch of no-nos in this video, and that should already be a great understanding for yourself on what you can do better. Okay. So that's, SpongeBob, the demonstration speech. I was really clear with this lesson, and you can also see, you want to be really organized and have the best visuals for everybody. So, obviously, if I were to write smaller, it would be harder for you to see. And yeah, that's about it. You're 33% done with this semester now. Congratulations. You go into your final stretch. So, it's okay. Speech is what it is. It's not that important. It's just, a core class that you got to do. And, who am I anyway? I'm just, just a guy who needs to, clean his room. Okay. I'll look forward to your demonstration speeches. I'm sure it'll be good. Have a good night.